Okay, 2019 Corolla. It's the first car I ever bought brand new with 2 miles on it. Now it's got 150,000 miles. How is it held up? Well, by the rust on the bolts for the plate here. It's a Massachusetts car, so of course it's going to have a lot of superficial rust. You can see the axle nut there has a little rust. The hubcaps have disappeared long ago. Now it's got like 153,000 miles on it. No surprise, it doesn't burn any oil. This is the dual variable valve timing, the intelligent version of it. 1.8 liter engine. As far as I'm concerned, it's probably the best 4-cylinder engine Toyota ever made. Yes, indeed. Like my 07 Matrix, he gets 38 miles a gallon on the highway. I only got 37, right? And this is a lot faster than the Matrix was. It's a Massachusetts car. You can see all the aluminum is pitted, but that's just superficial rust. See, you can see the bolts have superficial rust, but it's not rotten through or anything. Toyota does an excellent job rust proofing when they build them. The whole body and everything is soaked in paint that's electrostatic, so all the anti-rust additives aren't just sprayed on, they actually go into the frame parts with the holes, soak the inside. One's positive, one's negative, it just attracts in, and they do hold up over time. They don't just rust and fall apart. Can't blame the car on this. He scraped it on the side of the Sagamore Bridge, and he's going to sand it down, prime it, and then get some paint, some quality paints online, and fix that up so it doesn't rust anymore. The real problem he had was the cheap plastic HVAC system. It's only stuck on recirc now. You don't want to take all the dash apart and fix all that stuff. That's just cheaper construction. The old ones didn't used to do that, but the newer ones that have more electronics, of course, there's more things to go wrong. And as you can see, an old car that has a real parking brake. None of this electronic crap. Although it does have traction control, which you can turn off, right? And it's got a very dependable transmission. Now, yes, it's a CVT, but it's a Toyota Corolla CVT, and they're really dependable. You know, smaller car, less weight, and any problems with it at all. Now, this particular Corolla was made in Canada, right? And the Canadians, if anything, do the second best job. Japanese seem to do the best, but I do have to say, the Canadians seem to do the second best. My Matrix was a great car, and it was made in Cambridge, Ontario, so he hasn't really had any problems other than that HVAC thing. And he had a CV boot, the rubber ripped, and he had to replace that, right? But you got to consider, this baby's been living in Massachusetts its whole life. He's the original owner since it had 2 miles on it. And it's still in solid mechanical shape. But you never know what's going on under the hood, so let's hook up our giant computer. So here we go with the giant scan tool. It's green, it's warming up. We'll do standalone diagnostic. I like it because it doesn't have a smart key. Check it out, it's got a regular key. And here we go with the topology scan, so away we go while it's doing it. Like I said, it's a little more modern, 2019, so it's electronic. I'm not a fan of the electronic stuff, and like I said, this HVAC system is stuck and recirculate now. You can't turn it off. Even though it says fresh air, it's not going to fresh air. Piece is broken inside. You can see he's torn it out so he can reach in and pull it manually. Where there's a will, there's a way, right? It's got 6 trouble codes. So one is the GPS, which we really don't care. Everybody uses a phone, but just out of curiosity, we'll see what it says. Who's a module fault? Who cares? You don't even use it anyways. But just for kicks, we'll erase it anyways. Now the next code has got an ECM code. We'll enter the system, and we'll see what the code is. Startability fault. That's typical. A lot of times, just the key doesn't interface or the battery's low. You see that all the time. So we'll erase that, and it probably won't even come back. You often see these startability codes in a Toyota. Just a thing that happens. Damper servo, he knows exactly. It's broken inside, right? I'll erase them, but they'll come back because it's not working. Plastic stuff is broken inside. Like, they make things more plastic than they used to. They're not going to disappear. And he's got a TPMS code for the tire pressure monitoring system. Probably got a bad battery somewhere. After all, it's 7 years old. And the batteries inside the tire pressure units on the tires wear out over time. Transmitter 1 not received. Yeah, because, hey, the battery's dead probably. Start her up. We'll look at some live data. We'll enter the system and check out live data of the whole system. Remember, black is good, red is bad. Now, I expect this thing to work perfectly fine because he's getting 39 miles a gallon on the highway. It's got to be running good, right? I mean, come on, let's just face the facts. Battery voltage is good. Jars and ups and closed loop. Fuel trim is normal for a car that's got this many miles. The gas mileage that it's getting, sometimes it's running rich, sometimes it's running lean. It's just typical as they age. I mean, he can put some of Bernie's cleaner. He'll probably run a little bit better, but you really can't beat the gas mileage that he's getting, and he's got no running problems. So we'll go through. Everything's still black. See any bad data anywhere? We'll just whip through it. Everything is still black. No misfires, of course. It is a Toyota Corolla. Basically change the oil and filter and you're pretty much good to go. Well, I got some interesting news. The owner just told me he drove up and down the Trans-Alaska Highway to Alaska and back, and he had no problems in this front-wheel drive Toyota Corolla. Now here we go. It's even got a backup camera. Kind of old, maybe faded a little, but you can see where you're going. Yeah. Now notice, it's idling like a dream. You don't even feel it. Even though it's got 149,000 miles, as you can see, he's getting 38.4 miles per gallon. You cannot really argue that. Really, you know, these horrible roads of Rhode Island, you put your seatbelt on. He's a bad boy, he doesn't have a seatbelt on. And that, it really doesn't ride all that bad. And yes, indeed, it still has the original struts. So people try to say, oh, you got to get your struts done now. See, he's got like 150,000 miles. They're still original because Toyota makes them pretty good, right? Don't listen to this BS when people are trying to sell you stuff. Because the way this thing's riding, let's say you put new struts on, you're probably going to find out it would ride like maybe 10% smoother. Not all that much. Nobody's come from one side. They're all coming from the other side, and that's so typical around here. And here we go. We're going to give it some gas. Makes a lot of noise. It accelerates fine, you know. Yes, it's not a race car. Come on, this is not a race car. This is a Toyota Corolla. It made it to Alaska and back. You can't complain about that. Handles perfectly fine. Well, he certainly got his money's worth out of this thing. I'm really amazed at how smooth this thing still idles. It's really something. And that CVT transmission, hey, it works perfectly fine. Like I say, step on the gas, it's not a race mobile. Makes a lot of noise, but you can see it picks up. You know, we're already going 40. Look, it even said goodbye. Now, obviously he's got his money's worth. 2019, he only paid 16 grand for this car. He talked him down. Hey, all that mileage, he only paid 16 grand, right? Hey, I paid twice that for the Camry, but it's held up now. He takes care of it. He's even more anal than me. He changes the oil every 3,000 miles with Walmart synthetic oil. He changes the CVT fluid, average about 50,000 miles, which is just fine for a Toyota. It's probably one of the reasons it's working so well. Oh, there's car number one. Now comes car number two. And number two is a 2021 Honda Accord that a guy bought brand new. They told him they didn't have any Civics. So he bought this. It's got 75,000 miles. He put it all in. It still gets great gas mileage. He can get 45 miles a gallon on the highway. He changes the oil a lot, every 3,000 miles. Doesn't burn any oil. We'll look under the hood. It's a smaller engine. It's 1.5 liter. But Honda makes great engines, right? And with the 0W20 oil, this runs fine. It doesn't burn any oil. And it can get phenomenal gas mileage because it's a smaller engine. But it still has a reasonable amount of power. And he hadn't had any problems with any of that. The only problems he had is that a deer ran in front of him in New York State. Doesn't that figure, right? And, hey, he put the thing back together, you know? It obviously wasn't too hard of a hit. Blame the car on this. He tried to squeeze into a too tight parking space, so, hey, you can't blame the car on that. So let's close the hood and look inside. Four-door. Lots of room. CVT transmission. I'm not a big fan, but he likes the way that it handles. Honda and Toyota make decent CVT transmissions. You can see it's got this stupid start-stop, but you can push this and turn the stupid thing off. And yes, it has electric parking brakes. They all do these days. You can't get away from that. It doesn't have a key. It's keyless ignition, so we'll start her up. This is not a hybrid. This is a regular car. Nicely set up, you can see. Dash is held up. Seats are extremely comfortable. You got a reasonable amount of room in the back seats. And if you're in the sunroofs, I'm not, so I'm closing it. You can see it's got 78,042 miles on it. All the bells and whistles. It's got intelligent cruise control. Yeah, you can turn the traction control off. You can play with your phone here. There's the cruise control. You can mess around with a lot of settings if you want to. The screen, it looks like somebody glued it in as an afterthought. It doesn't really flow with the design, but a lot of Japanese cars are like that. Oh, we'll hook it up down here. Up it comes, and we'll see what shape it's on with 79,000 miles on it. Now, you can definitely see the price differential. He bought this brand new. He paid $41,000. The 2019 Corolla, he paid $16,000 for that. So, hey, he got a pretty good deal with that Corolla. Apology scan. All right, so while it's doing a full scan, we'll look around. Dash is in good shape. It's kind of interesting. Almost looks like a zebra effect. I don't know if I like it or not, but it's interesting. I'll give it that. The seats are still in excellent shape. He goes to like the Poconos in the winter, and he sleeps in this thing at night. He just leaves the car running. So I asked his wife, did you sleep in it with him? She said, no, I got to stay in a luxury hotel. Sounds like my wife. Scan now. There's only two problems. We'll see if it even means anything. The AC's got a code. A problem in the air mix control circuit, linkage dual motor. These things are so complicated. Who knows? So what we're going to do is we're going to erase that code, see if it comes back. A lot of times they don't. It's just something stuck when it was cold out or something. And then it's got one other code. It's the parking sensor. Those things often don't work that good anyways. Let's just see what the trouble code is. Here on the sensor, well, you can clean that off, so it's raining. It's probably clean now. Live data. Remember, black's good, red's bad. Considering the gas mileage is getting, I don't expect to find anything wrong. Oh, the data's good so far. Air fuel ratio. Short-term and long-term fuel trim. 0.87, 0.84, adding just a tiny amount of fuel. Bernie's cleaner would probably fix that, but that's so close to perfect, we really don't even care. Idling like a dream. The other data's good, so let's take it for a spin. Here we go in reverse. Nice backup camera, nice wide angle. He's at the front one himself. So, here we go. We'll turn the wipers on because it is raining now. Smooth idle. Maybe a little engine, 1.5 liter. I personally like them a little bigger, but hey. These things generally have decent power, and we'll see what happens. The bumpy roads, hey, it's riding relatively smooth. Of course, it's going to ride a lot smoother than a Corolla, but then again, it costs over twice the price, too. We'll take it off of eco mode, so I'll have a little more zip. Here we go. And we'll give it some gas. Ooh, it tried to burn rubber. It tried to burn rubber, but the traction control turned it off. So even with the CVT transmission, you step on the gas, it's got some get up and go. It's got a nice bit of power. Smooth riding. Now to me, it's got too much tire noise, but that's the tires that he has on. He's replaced the tires, and personally, I think they're a little bit too aggressive, but then again, he does drive in the mountains in the snow, and it's only front-wheel drive. It's not all-wheel drive, so he doesn't mind a little bit of extra noise for the extra traction. Still fun to drive, even with that CVT. Honda's figured these CVTs out pretty good. They used to be kind of slack. Now, hey, it's a 2021. It's got some decent pickup to it, and it's held up perfectly fine. And the intelligent cruise control also works fine. Now, yes, you pay a lot more for a Honda Accord than you do a Toyota Corolla, but it all depends on what level of comfort you want. Even though this is a faster car, it actually gets better gas mileage than the Corolla did. So there you have it. You pay more money for this, but it's been an excellent car. It's got a lot of lifespan. Granted, it's a lot better looking car too. I mean, look at it. The choice is yours, but if you would have bought either one of these, hey, depending on how much money you want to spend, they both turned out to be excellent vehicles. Any particular problems? Stay away from deer if you're in upstate New York, but I mean, what can you do about that? Didn't do all that much damage. I got last year come here with the Mitsubishi, brand new. He totaled it on the New Jersey Turnpike. Deer came out, destroyed the whole car. So this was a lot stronger than a Mitsubishi. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.